The one thing people are excited about the most this coming weekend is what happens on Friday, April 5th, 2019, from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Friday is our WrestleMania. Friday is the real WrestleMania. NXT Takeover New York preview, predictions, right here on Off the Script.
Delete this man.
Alive, people still Man, I'm looking at the intro to Off the Script. It's weird for me to be doing this on a Thursday and not a Friday. I'll get to that in a second. But it's weird for me to watch myself in the intro and I see my favoritism just out in the open, cutting through my computer screen when I watch it back to see if there's any errors. Or that I'm happy with that cut that I did in the podcast. I don't mean to say that nothing else is going to touch NXT during this WrestleMania weekend. This is my WrestleMania. I'm sure a lot of people do agree with me. If you don't agree with me, I'm sorry if I made you salty. I know NXT is not the one thing people are looking forward to all weekend. There are other things that people are looking forward to. This weekend caters to a variety of people. Whether you guys are a sucker for the main roster, whether you guys are big into NXT or you're into any of the independent shows that are going on, or if you are into the New Japan Ring of Honor stuff at Madison Square Garden, which in its own right is going to be epic, historic, monumental, something that people are going to be talking about for a very long time. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. That's why this weekend is heralded as the Super Bowl for pro wrestling fans. NXT is my WrestleMania. Everything that is NXT TakeOver normally is the best thing of WWE's calendar year. I don't need to sit here to tell you that. I'm sure you already know that. NXT knows that. Nothing rivals NXT in the WWE. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. WrestleMania will not rival NXT TakeOver New York. WrestleMania is a shell of its former self. This is my WrestleMania because where WrestleMania picks and chooses what's important, and WWE picks and chooses what's important to turn on to their audience. Not everything is important on WrestleMania's card. WWE has made that very, very upfront and center. They want you to understand that WrestleMania is an entertainment spectacle, and what they think is important is the only thing that they want you to know is important. Something like a tag team championship match for SmackDown or Monday Night Raw is not important in the eyes of WWE, and they're not going to push that as such on television. You know, the fact that we have a United States Championship match that we don't even know is happening. The fact that Samoa Joe is the United States Champion and he's lost 3 straight weeks outside of beating Mustafa Ali on SmackDown Live this past week. Does WWE think the United States Championship is important? No, they don't. They do not. NXT TakeOver, everything on that card. And I'm looking at the card right now. 5 matches. It's not fucking 5 times 1,000 like WrestleMania. It's 5 matches. I don't even know how many matches are on WrestleMania's card. I lost count. I honestly lost count. After they announced the 9th match, I lost interest. I don't care. Now, with NXT TakeOver, everything on that show feels important. This is just not TakeOver New York. It's every TakeOver. The NXT title is just important as the North American Championship and vice versa. The Women's Championship is just as important as the NXT Championship and vice versa. The NXT UK Championship, which they wanted to present to you on the biggest wrestling weekend of the year. It goes to show you how important that title is to Triple H and his team. that they're saving it for WrestleMania weekend and not waiting to get it on a UK takeover that might kind of make people lose interest. We don't know when the next UK takeover is going to be. It could be in May, it could be in June, it could be July. We don't know. We don't know. But the fact that the UK Championship is being defended on this show, Friday, Pete Dunne and Walter, that goes to show you that that title is just as important as everything else on this show. That Triple H bumped something else that could have easily went on this show in light of the UK Championship. Everything is important. Weekly television is important. They don't step on each other's toes. Everything gets the same amount of TV time, whether it's a video package or a segment between said superstars building towards the eventual match. If it's the women, nobody stepping on the women's toes. That gets the spotlight. Nothing else is interjecting itself into that, kind of overshadowing that. And the commentators give equal love to pretty much everything on that show. Everything. Every part of that bill, the commentators do not stray and talk about this or talk about that or talk about something that has nothing to do with what we're watching on television. Meanwhile, WWE has 17 matches, and there's only 3 matches out of 17, 3 matches out of an 8-hour show that I am genuinely interested in. One of these matches isn't even a championship match between AJ Styles and Randy Orton. The women's match has lost my interest, and I'm going to talk about this on Friday when I do the preview and predictions. The women's match has lost my interest because it's gone away from giving the fans what they want, and the agenda has taken over completely. The WWE cannot help themselves at all in this situation because they love to dilute a situation. Instead of making it about the championship, WWE has to put their own spin on it and force a corporate agenda down your throat. How many times are you going to hear this week, the first time ever, the first time ever, the first time ever, women's WrestleMania main event? How many times? We know it is. If you don't allow it to breathe on its own and sit there and gain interest from the fans, and you rather take that and shove it down our throats, how many more people are going to say, you know what, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit, I have no interest in it. How many people did you lose on the way to getting this match on Sunday night? I'm pretty sure you lost a lot of people, a lot of interest, because of you not being able to help yourself in the grand scheme of things. This is why Takeover is important to me. This is why Takeover, to me, is my WrestleMania. And it's special because it's happening in New York. It's special because Triple H was under dire circumstances, and we were all looking forward to one thing and got something completely different. And honestly, the entire vibe of the show has not changed at all. I don't think people became less interested after Tommaso Ciampa went down with a neck injury. I honestly think it's maintained its level of hype and its level of excitement. That in itself is a testament to what Triple H has done and built and continues to build in NXT. This is my WrestleMania. Every time Takeover will accompany a WrestleMania, Takeover is my WrestleMania because of what it embodies. It's taking shape and giving me a sense of what I love so much about WrestleMania when I was younger, whereas WrestleMania in itself right now is moving further and further and further away from becoming the thing that I used to love. This is the end result of a big corporate fucking machine that is WWE. It's all about the money. It's all about the fucking political agenda. It's all about how they look in the spotlight and to the mainstream media. It's not about the actual performer anymore. It really isn't. NXT embodies everything that WrestleMania used to be. This is why it's important to me. Those are my opening statements on Takeover, man. Thank you guys so very much. Like I said, it's weird to be sitting here on a Thursday because this WrestleMania week, there's so much to fucking do and so little time to do it that I had to get everything, or the majority of everything, done outside the Takeover official review, which will happen Friday night. I got to get everything done before I actually steamroll into the weekend. Because I got the meet and greet on Friday at Hooters, and that's going to be in downtown Manhattan, right across from Madison Square Garden. Then we got Takeover on Friday night, which I'm going to be home for. I'm going to be relaxing with a glass of wine and I am going to cover the show where I can. I'm not going to be in the office, not going to be here. I'm going to be elsewhere. I might have to rent an Airbnb, or I might have to do it at my mom's place. I don't know. Either way, I will be in quiet, and I will be in New York City because I need to get things done, and I need to have privacy and quiet while I do them. But the fact that the weekend's going to be so busy, I had to kind of gauge myself over the week to get everything done. And the format of the WrestleMania preview and predictions is so fucking long that you're only getting this, and you're getting that, and that's it. Everything else we'll worry about when we get into next week, because I also want to do the New Japan show. I want to watch that sometime next week. I want to review that for you guys. WrestleMania, obviously that speaks for itself. Obviously I have to cover WrestleMania. It's the biggest show of the year. And then Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. It's the biggest Monday Night Raw of the year. And then SmackDown Live, where people start to go home and don't give a shit about SmackDown Live after WrestleMania. They're completely burnt out at that point. I got to cover that. So much going on. But right now, I had to speed everything up, give you guys everything a day in advance, just so that I am ready. Now, the most important thing for me, professionally, is House of Glory on Saturday night. I hope to, or Saturday afternoon, not Saturday night. Saturday night, I don't know where the fuck I'll be. But Saturday afternoon, we got Culture Clash. And that is our biggest show ever. In 8 years that House of Glory has been alive, Culture Clash is going to be the biggest show that they ever put on. This is going to be a monumental show. Fight TV. It's going to be on pay-per-view. ESPN's going to be there. WWE representatives are going to be there. Impact Wrestling representatives are going to be there. Eyes on House of Glory this weekend. I can't even tell you how fucking nervous I am. The amount of notes that I have myself prepared with, just so that I know what I'm talking about. This could be a make or break situation for me too. I love my House of Glory family. I am so proud of everybody that we've collectively come together and gotten the company to this point. We're going to knock it out of the park. And I'm so grateful to Amazing Red and Brian XL and Big Hodge and Anthony Gangone and everybody in charge there, that they gave me an opportunity because of what I built here. And Saturday is a big thing for me because I know certain people that are elite are going to be watching. And it has nothing to do with me wearing the hoodie. I just got done filming a Jim Ross off-the-script extra about him signing. That's why I'm wearing the hoodie. Getting everything done, man. Back to back. I'm the hardest working man in the business. On YouTube, anyway. Not the business, on YouTube. But certain people are going to be watching. I want to make sure that I am readily prepared. Who knows? You know, I'm not expecting anything. I've always been a guy to sit here and think that hard work eventually pays off. And that's the mentality I'm going with. I've never been someone to ask for anything. I've never been one to call someone up and have them do me a favor, anything like that. You know, I started this channel from the ground up. I started this channel from nothing. The things that I gave up, to be here, the things that I gave up for this channel, you know, they break my heart every day. And it's the only thing that I know. It really is. Hard work pays off. And come Culture Clash, when all is said and done, I hope somebody out there realizes that I love this business more than anything. This is the business I want to be in. This is the business I want to call home. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Because I love professional wrestling. And if someone out there listens to me and finds me to be of a value somewhere, that's what I'm working towards, man. Culture Clash is not only important to everybody in House of Glory, it's important to me. Because never in my wildest dreams would I have ever imagined, A, doing play-by-play commentary in the business that I fucking love, and B, my voice is going to be on pay-per-view. That in itself is absolutely fucking mind-blowing. So, I can't wait for that. And this weekend's got me really stressed out, and I hope we have a good show here today, because we got a lot to go over. Man. So, let me get the bullshit out of the way. You guys know the deal. JD from NY, 206 on both Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you guys want the most out of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, All Elite Wrestling. And obviously this podcast each and every weekend, Off the Script, is the staple, the bread and butter of what I do here. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I am the very best in the YWC. Believe me. If you don't think that about yourself, you are already falling behind the fucking 8 ball. You're a failure already. I am the very best at what I do. I firmly believe that, and I'm only getting better thanks to you guys. Hit that subscribe button if you guys want the truth on everything that you're watching week to week here in the YWC. Make sure you guys support me on Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206. You guys are into the video game thing. I haven't been on there in a while because I just haven't had the passion to play anything. I've been playing the Division 2, though, by myself. I'm loving the Division 2. And I got to save Washington, D.C. Almost at level 30. Almost at level 30. JD from New York on Twitch if you're into that type of thing. Also, guys, make sure you go and get your t-shirt, JD's Elites, on bonfire.com, the official home of this very design. Got to thank my boy Salrex, man, the hardest working graphics designer in the game right now for the YWC. He does all my thumbnails, my layouts. He came up with this design here for JD's Elite. I'm sure we'll come up with something else on top of this. Kick-ass stuff only, man. He is absolutely a fucking gold mine. I appreciate not only his hard work and effort and support on the channel, but I appreciate his friendship as well. So make sure you guys go and get this design, bonfire.com, down below in the description. I also got a shout out. I know I mentioned Salrex a lot. I got to shout out my boy Mikey at MikeWill87 on Twitter if you guys want layouts and graphics designs from him. He does all my pay-per-view layouts each and every month. So shout out to both of those guys, man. Two of the very best in the YWC. And they come from a very good recommendation. Yours truly. I would not be telling you about those guys if I did not believe in their work. Bonfire.com, linked down below in the description. Make sure you guys go and check out all the videos you might have missed, man. There's a lot of content. I'm not the only one who has a lot of content this week, but believe me, it's worth it. We talked about Off the Script last week, and if you missed it, it's there. I know it's old. You might have heard it already. It might be old news, but if you guys want to go back, some people have told me they were the best cold opens that I've ever done on Off the Script, so make sure you guys go and check that out. Monday Night Raw, one of the worst go-home shows I have ever seen. SmackDown Live, Life Lessons with Daniel Bryan, for free. Make sure you guys go and check that out. I talk about Kofi Kingston and how great the contract signing was. Jim Ross, money move that would make Cardi B proud. Unreal. The largest contract for a play-by-play man in wrestling history is Jim Ross. Go and check that out. I was really happy about that one. And anything else you might have missed. NXT as well from this week's Go Home show. It's all there on the channel right now. Where do you find it, JD? You might be asking. Well, it's right there in the top right corner in that little eye that you see in the top right corner. Drop that bitch down, and everything you need will be right there. Hooters. You guys know the deal with Hooters, man. 155 West 33rd Street, New York City. Right across from Madison Square Garden. Right in downtown Manhattan. You see these beautiful ladies here? They'll be there. I'll be there. If you guys want to chat it up with one of them, by all means, come on in. I won't blame you if you're going to talk to them instead of me. Clearly, I'm not a dummy. But it'll be good food. It'll be good people. It'll be off the script, man. Hooters Off the Script, meet and greet Friday, April 5th. Come hang out before NXT Takeover New York. That is tomorrow. RSVP down below. We are guaranteed a new NXT champion in the form of Adam Cole, baby. And my boy Johnny Gargano. Gonna be a fucking classic. Gonna be the best match of the entire weekend. I am predicting that. So, Hooters, man. Thanks to Hooters and everybody who set this thing up. Andrea and Chris and everybody involved at the Hooters team. And it's going to be great. I don't have anything else to say, man. It's going to be fucking awesome. Come hang out. Like I said, April 5th from 1 to 4 p.m. That is Hooters of Manhattan, 155 West 33rd Street. And the RSVP is down below. Make sure you guys check out Harry's. You know how many people I see in the comments section? Fuck Harry's. And I skip Harry's. Okay. You don't need to tell me. Why do you need to voice that negativity in the comment section? Why? I don't know. I love Harry's. I think Harry's is great. Harry's is great. They know they're great, and they want you to understand why they are so great. The why is the most important thing in any situation. Why has Wrestlemania failed as far as WrestleMania season goes in the build to most of what you'll see on Sunday night? It's because WWE doesn't care. Why is Harry so great as far as a shaving product? Because they care about their consumer. The why. Why do you love shaving with Harry's? Why do I love shaving with Harry's? Is it the closeness? The smooth, comfortable glide? What is it? 10 million people have used Harry's. Did you know that? Over 10 million people have used Harry's. So why Harry's? Well, Harry's founders were tired of paying for razors that were overpriced, overdesigned. They knew a great shave didn't come from gimmicks like the Demon Finn Balor, who will go one-on-one with Bobby Lashley over the irrelevant Intercontinental Championship. I still don't know why Finn Balor is bringing the Demon to fight Bobby Lashley, but that's another story for a different day. Gimmicks like vibrating heads, flex balls, handles that look like spaceships. Tactics that these leading brands have used to raise prices for decades. Harry's fixed all that. Simple, clean design with quality, durable blades, fair price. Harry's actually bought a world-class blade factory in Germany that's been making quality blades for over 95 years. And Harry's has received over 20,000 five-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google alone. Harry's replacement cartridges are only $2. That's half the price of a Gillette Fusion Pro Shield. And all Harry's blades come with a 100% quality guarantee. If you don't love your shave, let them know, and they will give you a full refund. Your $13 value set is free and comes with the following. One razor handle. You got the blue, the green, or the orange. 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade. Speaking of the handle, someone told me that they added a new color. It's like a sea blue. Whatever, man. Get all 4. If that's one of the options, go ahead and do it. I got the 3 originals, but the sea blue sounds nice. You're going to get the razor handle. Choice of color is yours. 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade. Rich lathering shave gel. And a travel blade cover if you're a man on the go, a businessman who loves to travel or has to travel for work, or if you're a regular goon like me who likes my razor to look pretty on my bathroom sink. Either way you look at it, a travel blade cover as well to make your blade look nice and pretty. Listeners of Off the Script can redeem their trial set by going to harrys.com/script. Make sure you go to harrys.com/script to redeem your trial offer and let them know that I sent you, Off the Script sent you, more importantly, JD from NY sent you to help support the show. We all know how important NXT and Takeover is to Triple H. We all know. We've seen him get emotional at times. We've seen him break down and start crying when he has to promote somebody to the main roster, or in my own words, demote someone to the main roster. I watched something with Triple H. He was in the very beginning of a video that I watched on Wednesday morning, and it had to do with Tommaso Ciampa. And Triple H had to back away from whom he was speaking in front of. I'm assuming it was the entire NXT roster. Looked like they were in a classroom setting at Full Sail University. He was addressing, I'm sure, the entire roster. And he had to back away for a little bit because he didn't want to show them that he was tearing up. And the angle that they shot Triple H in, you could see that his eyes were red and that his eyes were getting watery. And he was talking about how he loves what he's built here and loves that everybody here is a huge aspect of what NXT means to him. About dreams coming true and how he loves that NXT is a stepping stone for bigger and better things. And how easily things could be wiped away. Pretty much exactly what he mentioned the night that he set up the Fatal 5-Way to determine who fights Johnny Gargano at Takeover New York. And then he ushered out Tommaso Ciampa. And he had Ciampa speak in front of the entire NXT roster. Ciampa was wearing a neck brace. And then they cut. And they showed Ciampa entering the medical facility in Birmingham, Alabama, which he is a frequent member of, frequent visitor. He's been there several times over the last couple of years. And they showed him getting out of a limo or a vehicle of sorts with his wife and their newborn child. And they were documenting step by step what he was going through, what he was thinking in that time, right before he went on the knife to repair his neck. This video was about 11 minutes long. And Ciampa actually tweeted something about this. And I urge you guys to go and watch it. Ciampa was going to be a big part of NXT Takeover. He was a huge part of NXT. He was going to be a big part of NXT Takeover New York in the main event with Gargano. But I'm watching this, and it's very difficult. We already love Ciampa, but it's even more difficult now to look at him any other way. Like, I am under the impression that when he comes back, he's going to be like the biggest babyface in NXT. If indeed he does come back to NXT. But it's very difficult to watch this and not feel for him. Everything was just ripped from him. And then you see that character on TV and how he never let anyone inside that character. Like he was quote unquote stone cold for the entirety of his heel run with Goldie in NXT. You didn't see another side of him at all. He didn't speak to anybody. He didn't take pictures. I mean, for Christ's sakes, he wasn't even following anybody on social media. And I'm sure he's got tons of friends in the business. He didn't follow one fucking guy. And he's talking, and he's going over how the room looks familiar. And his wife is there. His wife is really upset. She was happy yet upset because he would always complain about being in pain and how he would wake up every hour on the hour and he can't bend his hands. His arm would go numb in the middle of the night. He couldn't lift these two fingers here. Like if he tried to lift them and make a full five with his hand, he couldn't get these fingers up because then he'd start spasming. He'd start feeling like a sharp pain run up and down his arm. And it makes everything just that much more unbelievable that he was dealing with all of this shit and he still managed to give us matches with Gargano the way he did, matches with the Velveteen Dream, matches with Aleister Black. Ciampa was in such pain and dealing with all these symptoms because of his neck. And the man, every time he stepped into the ring, gave us a fucking 5-star classic. Now, if that's not one of the greatest of all time, I don't know what is. And when you look at Tommaso Ciampa's fucking Twitter handle and the catchphrase that he coined for most of 2018, he's the greatest sports entertainer of all time. I wouldn't go that far. But when you talk about modern day, current day WWE sports entertainers and what people strive to be in this business, how could you not admire Tommaso Ciampa? How could you not look at him and say, man, that's what I want to be? It's unbelievable. Looking back at everything in just in the rearview mirror and realize what this man did. And how injured he was, and it got progressively worse. How is that even fucking possible? It's unbelievable. So much so, Ciampa said the doctors told him he's on borrowed time. Borrowed time. That if he went any more with what he has, if he didn't get surgery and something happened, he would never wrestle again. Ciampa revealed his true feelings about losing the NXT title, relinquishing. He didn't lose it. They had to take it from him. And how he lost his NXT Takeover New York title match with Jonny, even before he had the chance to compete. We all know it's frustrating, but Ciampa has been in this position before only to come back and excel more than he did in his entire career. He says, and I quote, "In May of 2017, they told me that no one else has ever had 3 major surgeries in a 12-week span and returned at a competitive level. I returned to the most successful run of my career. This week, I should be preparing to walk into the main event of Takeover in New York on Wrestlemania weekend as NXT champion. This match has meant more to me than anyone will ever understand. The opportunity was taken from me. In March 2019, they told me that if I return, I will be on borrowed time. To be continued. ... I urge you guys to go watch this documentary. It's about 11, 12 minutes long on the WWE Performance Center YouTube channel. He even goes into detail about how he and his wife wanted kids so badly. There was little clips of Jonny talking about how important, it was to Tommaso Ciampa, how his wife was pregnant the first time and she had a miscarriage, and they eventually had a successful baby daughter named Willow. How his wife came up with the term Goldie, how he calls his little baby daughter Goldie. Jonny was talking about how important it was to move from Cleveland to Orlando with Candace, how difficult Tommaso and his wife were going through a difficult time, how tough it was when she had to stay in Milwaukee and he had to live in Orlando. They eventually, came together and she moved the entire family to Orlando. And Jonny was ecstatic that he could go through this part of his life with his best friend. They showed pictures of their wedding and how Jonny was Tommaso's best man and how Tommaso was Johnny's best man when he got married to Candice LeRae. It's just such a great fucking 12 minutes, man. I promise you. You got to go and watch it. It's eye-opening to see what we've seen of him as an entertainer. And then to look at him as a fucking human being and going through the struggles that he's gone through with himself, his career, his wife. It's just unbelievable, man. It's really unbelievable. Go and watch it. Doctors say he's on borrowed time, but, I'm pretty confident that he's going to come back. He's going to be better than ever. Really. He deserves it, and I can't wait to see him on fucking top, man. He's got my full support. No question. Triple H. I mentioned how Triple H is very proud. Papa H. Very proud of whatever he does with NXT TakeOver. Triple H actually named the NXT TakeOver match that will be hard to follow. Now, NXT TakeOver New York had their conference call, and after the conference call, Triple H spoke to ESPN, where he cited that he thinks Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole for the vacant NXT title in a 2 out of 3 falls match will steal the show and will be a contest that will be hard to follow. He didn't mention anything, but hard to follow. What is to follow? That. In the WWE, it's WrestleMania. At Madison Square Garden, it's G1 Supercard with Ring of Honor and New Japan. He said this match will be very difficult to follow. He says, and I quote, "I expect it to be hard to follow for the weekend. I don't mean that as a knock on anybody. It's just the level of talent there and the emotional storytelling component. It's probably 2 of the guys. If you said to me, name the 2 most consistent performers at all levels on any rosters, that no matter what, they're going to knock it out of the park. It would be tough for me to come up with bigger names than Gargano and Adam Cole." Triple H added that it's going to be epic and he's thrilled for both stars as well as proud because this is the first of many moments like that for them across WrestleMania weekend. If I had to name 3 matches that I'm looking forward to most all weekend, it is this one, number 1, Adam Cole, Gargano for the NXT title. It's going to be Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle. Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle. And it's going to be the War Raiders versus Aleister Black and Ricochet. Those are my top 3 matches for WWE. I'm excited for that ladder match that's going to take place at Madison Square Garden with Marty Scurll, Matt Taven, and Jay Lethal. I'm excited to see what Jay White and Kazuchika Okada do inside of Madison Square Garden. Should be cool. But as far as WWE goes, those are my 3 top matches for WWE's WrestleMania weekend. Triple H and JD are on the same wavelengths as far as Gargano and Adam Cole go. Speaking of Adam Cole, he makes a bold promise for NXT TakeOver New York. He also was interviewed by ESPN. He made one promise to fans regarding this match, which is that it will be the best match of his career. He says, and I quote, "For many years, people who followed both myself and Johnny Gargano, people have compared us quite a bit. Two guys on very similar rises on the independents. A lot of the times, we would work for different companies, but we ended up competing against each other. Pretty much from the very first match I had with Johnny, he was a guy that brought out the best in me, and I brought out the best of him. For us to get the chance on literally the biggest takeover that we've ever had, I can promise you, you won't be disappointed. I know the fans who have followed our careers know they're in for something special. For people who haven't, I could promise you it will be. It will probably be my toughest, most exciting, and best match of my entire career. I'm ready to show that to the world in New York City." End quote. So Adam Cole is making a bold promise that it's not only going to be the best match of his career, on top of what he stated already, he's going to take the NXT Championship, but it's going to be the toughest, most exciting, and the best match of his entire career. And I can't wait to see what he does. When I look at Adam Cole, I see a world champion in the making. When I look at Adam Cole, I look at somebody who takes this very, very seriously. When I look at Johnny, Johnny is Mr. Takeover. They don't call him Johnny Takeover for no reason. If anybody's going to string together a fucking 30-minute classic, probably longer than that, 2 out of 3 falls, it's going to be these two guys. Speaking of Johnny, he says he is incomplete without the NXT Championship. Johnny Gargano obviously had to sit and watch Tommaso Ciampa get neck surgery. Nobody knew who his opponent was going to be. We all came up with theories about what was going to happen with the title after Tommaso Ciampa had to relinquish the title. And then we had a fatal 5-way. We had a fatal 5-way with Ricochet, Aleister Black, Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream, and Matt Riddle. NXT is my life, he says. Plain and simple. I've put my heart and soul into this company, and I truly love it and its fans. I wanted to build something here, and my legacy feels incomplete without that NXT Championship. It's about more than the accolades, though. It's about what it stands for. I want to go from a guy who was told no at his tryout, a guy who was told he wasn't good enough to be here, to be the most decorated champion in the history of the company. I want to show the world that anything's possible if you never stop fighting. You know, the funny thing is, I met Johnny, and I'm looking at that poster. It was the event flyer that I got, luckily. And I had him sign it. Johnny signed it. Right under his photograph next to Austin Theory. He was in the main event of that night on January 19th, 6 p.m. We were there in Queens. And Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory had a great match. My first time looking at Austin Theory. Met a few of you guys out there. It was a cool time. And Johnny was doing a meet and greet after the show. And I met him, and I waited in line, and I asked him, you know, are you going to top the Almas match? Because the Almas match at TakeOver Philadelphia was one of the best things that I've ever seen as far as the championship match goes in the 30-plus years I've been watching this business, or watching this product. And he smiled, and he's like, oh, yeah, man, I really appreciate that. And this was a week before the Royal Rumble. And he said, you got to watch out. We're going to try and top that one this year. Now, he did. I don't think he totally did with Ricochet. He came pretty fucking close to doing it, you know? I honestly think that this match with Adam Cole is going to top the one he did with Andrade Cien Almas. So, Johnny is living up to his word when good old JD met him in Queens at Evolve 120. There you go. And I got the picture right there. Moving on with the rest of the news here for NXT. Raya Ripley. Now, she's not on the NXT TakeOver card, but she is one of my favorite female performers in all of the WWE. Now, there was a rumor going around that someone from NXT UK was going to be called up to the main roster. I'm thinking it's Pete Dunne. But it was not Pete Dunne. It was actually Raya Ripley. Raya Ripley set to be called up to the main roster. Now, this comes from Slice Wrestling. I would take anything that they do and anything they say on social media with a huge grain of salt. A huge grain of salt. When all of your tweets are comprised in the wording that they do, I would look at them as kind of funny. Something a little off about whoever's running that fucking site. Every word in a tweet, the first letter of every word is capitalized. Who the fuck types like that? It takes you more time to type out a tweet with that type of fucking grammar than it does to conceive the fucking thought initially. Like, who does that? If you are the type of clown that writes a tweet and every first letter of every word is capitalized, you are to not be trusted. Simple as that. Slice Wrestling is reporting that WWE has big plans for the former NXT UK champion, Raya Ripley. And they're looking to bring the Australian up to the main roster. Raya Ripley was the inaugural NXT UK Women's Champion. Held the belt for 139 days before dropping it to my bae, Toni Storm. Now, Toni Storm won the 2018 Mae Young Classic. If anybody's going to get called up, Toni Storm should get the call up. I think Toni Storm has the characteristics of being someone who could lead an entire division. You know, that's just my honest opinion on that. Ripley made her main roster debut in the Royal Rumble, January 2019, as part of the Women's Royal Rumble match. But Slice is reporting that the company are planning on bringing her up to the main roster on a full-time basis later this year. Slice Wrestling is also reporting that WWE sees a lot of potential in Lacey Evans, and the former NXT star is reportedly being lined up for a championship opportunity in the near future. With the company reportedly having plans for both Raya Ripley and Lacey Evans, WWE might be planning for life without Ronda Rousey. It has been speculated that the UFC Hall of Famer will be stepping away from wrestling to start a family with her husband, Travis Brown. Now, I don't like this rumor. A, I don't believe it. B, they can't even book the women that they have on the roster right now correctly. You're going to take a 22-year-old Raya Ripley and put her on the main roster? I'm going to say this, and I'm going to apply Pete Dunne to this as well. Because I don't like these rumors of pulling a 22, 23-year-old from the main roster, or from NXT or NXT UK, and putting them on the main roster. It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay? I'm going to say this, and I hope people understand my logic. NXT UK, Triple H wants you to believe that they're all equal. They're not. Triple H also wants us to believe that NXT, SmackDown Live, and Monday Night Raw are all equal. They're not. One NXT might be better than both SmackDown and Raw combined on a very consistent basis throughout the weeks. We understand that. It is the A show to most of us who watch regularly week to week. But it's not the A show in the grand scheme of logic, okay? NXT UK is on the bottom rung of this ladder. And I don't give a shit who you are. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the Kenny Omega of NXT UK. I don't care. Pete Dunne has held that title for 700 days now? Or so, roughly? That doesn't mean Pete Dunne drops the title to Walter and gets called up to SmackDown Live. It doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. Everybody needs to go through a progression process. If you're in NXT UK, the next graduating step is NXT. That goes for the men and women. It goes for Raya Ripley, it goes for Toni Storm, it goes for Ginny, it goes for everybody over there. Everybody. I don't give a fuck who you are. Pete Dunne, if he drops the title to Walter, I would rather him go to NXT for a year, being that he's still young. How old is Pete Dunne? 25, 26 years old? What is the rush of bringing Pete Dunne up to the main roster when you know he'll get swallowed alive up there? They'll look at him and they'll be like, what the fuck do we do with this guy? What do we do with Pete Dunne? Same thing happens with Raya Ripley. 22 years old, you're going to pull Raya Ripley from NXT UK? And put her on the main roster? What the fuck is she going to do? What is she going to do? You aren't even booking the women on the main roster right now. Lacey Evans hasn't even thrown a punch. Naomi, wasted. Asuka, wasted. And she got called up from NXT local. This is a bumble-headed fucking blithering idiot move. I don't give a fuck who you are. You graduate from NXT UK, you go right to NXT. Well, JD, that doesn't make any sense. If you got talent for the main roster, you got talent for the main roster. Sure, she could be used. No. It's still a graduating process. How many people watch NXT UK? Not many. You look at NXT UK and NXT in the rankings of what's most watched on WWE Network. NXT UK is always going to be beneath NXT. Way behind. Look at the views on YouTube. What's getting more views, NXT UK or NXT? So if you're going to pull Raya Ripley out of NXT UK and you want her to get exposure in front of more eyes, then you put her on NXT. That will be a nice, slow process. There's much more to learn. You know, because you think you're good at something right now, or you think she's good, or he's good, or whomever is good at something. Yeah, they could be in the main event on SmackDown Live on Monday Night Raw. Really? So you want to take a relatively unknown to the WWE audience, throw her to the fucking wolves, and then have her just suffer. I don't like that at all. Graduating processes. Everybody should go from NXT to NXT UK to NXT to SmackDown, and then SmackDown to Raw. Simple. I don't like that at all. Same thing should be applied to Pete Dunne. Because I know Pete Dunne could fucking kill it in a main event on Raw and SmackDown with anybody. Anybody! But to take him and put him on Raw is career suicide. Anybody, for that matter. Raya Ripley is not going to be called up to the main roster, and if that is the case, that is a terrible fucking move. Finally, guys, Cassius Ohno. Yes, I know Cassius Ohno is not on NXT TakeOver, but why is he in the news? Well, he's working for Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. Booker T is now a two-time NXT Hall of Famer. Jesus Christ. Booker T is now a two-time WWE Hall of Famer, which gives him a certain amount of favor with the company. He currently operates a wrestling promotion in Texas called Reality of Wrestling, and he will probably be a very special fucking owner on April 13th. Now, very special, meaning that he's got NXT talent coming in. He's going to be happier than a pig in shit. Now, Reality of Wrestling announced that NXT superstar Cassius Ohno, amongst others, will be working their event in Texas City at the World Gym Arena. This will apparently be part of a No Limits 20-man elimination match. WWE NXT superstar Cassius Ohno is coming to Reality of Wrestling on Saturday, April 13th in Texas City at the World Gym Arena. You never know who else might show up in the 20-man elimination match. So go get your tickets now, as I'm like a fucking promoter for Reality of Wrestling over here. So there you go. So if you guys are in that area, if you're in Texas City, go see Cassius Ohno do Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. That's the news, man. Let's talk TakeOver. Let's talk TakeOver predictions. And I got the full card right here in front of me. Start at the top. War Raiders, Hanson, and Rowe, the NXT Tag Team Champions, versus Aleister Black and Ricochet. Now, this is it for Aleister Black and Ricochet. They were on Monday Night Raw. They had a tag team title match against the Revival. Apparently, they lost by countout because this was WWE's way of kind of moving them on separately from the tag team division. What does WWE do the next night? They just throw them in the tag team title match on SmackDown Live at WrestleMania. No rhyme or reason with these fucking clowns. I don't understand it. Aleister Black and Ricochet won the Dusty Classic. That's why they're here in this match with the War Raiders. They defeated Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel. Those guys are two of my favorites in NXT and one of my favorite tag teams right now in WWE. That was a fantastic fucking match. You guys, I urge you to go back and watch that. Ricochet and Aleister Black then went on to get DIY, and they beat DIY. And then after that, they beat the Forgotten Sons. So it was no easy road to get here. The Forgotten Sons, they beat Mustache Mountain. I know a lot of people were pulling for Mustache Mountain. And the Forgotten Sons in the first round beat Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Nice 1-2 combo over there, and Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. The Forgotten Sons, honestly, were the MVPs, in my honest opinion, of the Dusty Classic. This was probably the best Dusty Classic that we've seen so far So who wins this match? Aleister Black and Ricochet are getting called up to the main roster. They are done in NXT. Why would they win the NXT Tag Team Championships? Hanson and Rowe have done nothing with the tag team titles since they won them from the Undisputed Era in January. So this makes sense to me. Two guys are going up. Two guys are staying where they are. War Raiders retain the titles here in a fucking tag team classic. And I do not think that Aleister Black and Ricochet are going to win their match at WrestleMania because the Usos just signed a new 5-year extension with the WWE. So I'm pretty sure WWE, they won't get pinned though. They won't get pinned. Now they'll probably end up pinning the fucking Bar or Rusev and Nakamura, and the Usos will retain. Aleister Black and Ricochet's got to be fucking exciting to be at WrestleMania. You know? Who would have thought Aleister Black and Ricochet were going to be at WrestleMania? I wish they would have been in a bigger spotlighted match, but they're at WrestleMania nonetheless when they didn't expect to be at WrestleMania this year. Ricochet, anyway. Aleister Black, there's been talk. Oh, I'd call him up. I put him here. I put him there. Here he is. Here both of them are at WrestleMania. Should be good. I'm going with the War Raiders, and this team of Aleister Black and Ricochet can then just go their separate ways, and we can get both guys in singles runs, and maybe somewhere down the line they'll meet head-to-head over an Intercontinental title, a Universal title, a WWE title. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm going with Hanson and Rowe. War Raiders retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. Pete Dunne versus Walter. Pete Dunne, the NXT UK champion. He's held this thing forever, and I think on Friday night, he is going to drop the title and lose to Walter. Walter's going to be your new NXT UK champion. This actually came about at the Blackpool Takeover, NXT UK's first takeover event in Blackpool, England. And we had a match between Pete Dunne and Joe Coffey that went way too long. That's seen a few botches here and there. After the thing was over, we had Walter emerge. People were singing along to his theme song. This towering man of a human being just comes out. People going crazy. He dwarfs over Pete Dunne. He chops the shit out of Joe Coffey. And then he looks at Pete Dunne as Takeover goes off the air. So after that, Walter had a match or two on not on NXT Takeover UK, but he had a match or two on NXT UK television. And obviously, he was dominant throughout. And we got the match. It's signed. It's sealed. It's delivered. This is going to be Pete Dunne's gravest challenge. Talk about the gravest challenge. Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker at the fucking Survivor Series many, many, many years ago. This is going to be Pete Dunne's gravest challenge. I do not know how Pete Dunne is going to operate against Walter, who is 300 fucking pounds. Walter is 300 pounds, and he stands 6'4". 6'4" is Walter. Pete Dunne is 205 pounds, and he is 5'10". So Pete Dunne is giving away close to 100 pounds in this match. Pete Dunne will walk out with something, but it won't be the United Kingdom Championship. He'll walk out with a fucking huge handprint across his chest, and then he'll have to go home to his fucking wife, and she'll ask, honey, what happened? I'm like, Walter fucking slapped the shit out of me, and I lost my title. Let's go to sleep. Going with Walter. Pete Dunne is going to drop that title, and I do believe Pete Dunne is going to get promoted to somewhere. Whether it's Raw or SmackDown, which would be a mistake, and I think Pete Dunne is best suited in NXT. Local. Full Sail. That's where I think he should go. Because Pete Dunne could clearly... Why wouldn't you... If you're Pete Dunne, why wouldn't you want to conquer everything you can? You don't see him as an NXT champion? You couldn't see Pete Dunne versus an Adam Cole for the NXT title? I don't understand that. If I'm Pete Dunne, I'm young. I don't want to go there yet. Maybe the money is enticing, right? Because I could predict that maybe you go to Raw or SmackDown, the money is going to be like maybe 300, 400, 500,000, right? In NXT, you're barely making 100. But if I'm Pete Dunne, career-wise, I'd like an NXT title run. So we'll see what happens. I'm going with Walter. He's going to be your new United Kingdom champion. Velveteen Dream and Matt Riddle, bro, for the North American Championship. Now, this all started with the Velveteen Dream winning the Worlds Collide tournament. What the fuck is that, you're asking me? Well, it happened during Royal Rumble weekend. It was on the WWE Network. Don't you guys watch the network? Happened during Royal Rumble Access. He won this tournament with members of 205 Live, NXT, NXT UK, so on and so forth. He won this tournament, and he won a championship match of his choosing. Now, I was actually at Full Sail University at the set of TV tapings in which he won the title. So I could say I was there when the Velveteen Dream won the North American Championship. He bypassed Tommaso Ciampa. He's like, I'm over you. I'm done with you. I don't lust after you anymore. Goes into the ring. He wants Johnny Gargano's NXT North American Championship. Over the next few weeks, obviously after he won it, Dream had run-ins with Matt Riddle. And as of this past week, Matt Riddle went into a match with the lamest, Kona Reeves. Yeah, I don't know who he is either. Kona Reeves. The lamest Kona Reeves. Velveteen Dream is carted out on a purple couch. This velveteen couch. He's got like this goblet he's sitting there with. He's spread out like he's a fucking model. Legs propped up. He's got this goblet in his hand. He's got a nice drink. Two beautiful women with him, fanning him. So, when Matt Riddle beats the lamest, Kona Reeves, with the Bromission, Velveteen Dream takes the microphone and says, and your winner, Matthew Riddle. Matthew Riddle goes up to the stage where he's sitting on this couch, or laying on this couch, I should say. He takes the goblet, dumps the drink on his face. On Matt Riddle's face. He takes the goblet and dumps it on his own face. Takes the microphone and simply says, I'll see you at NXT Takeover New York, bro. And that's it. Now, Matt Riddle did have one other run-in with the Velveteen Dream. He comes out when the Velveteen Dream was talking to the NXT universe and said, man, that NXT North American title, bro, would go good around my waist, bro. It would look good on my waist. And that's pretty much all we've seen here. Now, this could go one of two ways. One, Velveteen Dream could lose the title to Matt Riddle and they could keep him undefeated. Or Matt Riddle could go into this, lose, get that undefeated streak out of the way, because a lot of people, and I could understand their logic here, the undefeated streak usually becomes a hindrance on creative booking. So you want to get that out of the way now. I could see them doing that as well. But it's very difficult in this situation because there really is nothing between these two. You got Matt Riddle, who's undefeated. You got Velveteen Dream, who just won the championship and really hasn't done anything with it. It was supposed to be Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream. Adam Cole's now in the main event because of Tommaso Ciampa. Velveteen Dream hasn't done anything with the title. And if you take it off of him, it's going to be too soon. It's going to be one of them just hot potato reigns. And Matt Riddle, if he loses, he's not undefeated anymore. So I don't know which way to swing here. On one hand, if Matt Riddle loses, what does he really lose? Really, what does he really lose? Matt Riddle is Matt Riddle. But in WWE's mind, I think Matt Riddle is the heir apparent to Tommaso Ciampa here. He's eventually going to get the NXT Championship. But does he need to be undefeated because of that? I don't think so. If you're looking at the Velveteen Dream, honestly, when it boils down to it, needs to win more than Matt Riddle does. Velveteen Dream has had a history of not winning the big one. You're going to put him on his first takeover as North American Champion and not put him over? It's kind of silly if you ask me. Yeah, he may have beaten Jonny, but it wasn't at a takeover. I think Velveteen Dream needs to go into this and get the victory over Matt Riddle. This victory for Velveteen Dream will solidify him. He's already a major player. But obviously, Velveteen Dream is at a certain status in the company. If he beats Matt Riddle, you know how higher up he'll be? If Matt Riddle loses, he goes nowhere. He's Matt Riddle. I'm going with the Velveteen Dream. I could see them swinging both ways. Who needs it more? I'm going with the Velveteen Dream over Matt Riddle. But my heart says Matt Riddle is going to win the North American Championship. I'm just going based off of what is more important here and who this is going to be more important to. I'm going with the Velveteen Dream in retaining the North American Championship. Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Kairi Sane. Fatal 4-way for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, it was rumored that this match was going to be a ladder match because there was graphics released. I don't know if they were fan-made or WWE licensed. I don't know. But they were in the backdrop of New York City, and the buildings looked like ladders. I don't know if this was a typo or, again, a fan-made situation. Maybe it was official and WWE was going to go with the ladder match and then opted not to do it. It could still be announced if they want to do it. They got the pre-show. They could announce it there if they want. But I don't think they're going to. Right now, it's just a regular fatal 4-way. Now, Shayna Baszler retained the NXT Women's Championship against Bianca Belair by submission. She didn't tap her out. She passed out. Now, during the match, Belair also had to deal with the horsewomen. She had to deal with Maria Shafir, and she had to deal with Jessamine Duke. This led to a match with Belair teaming with Io Shirai and Kairi Sane against all three of the horsewomen. Now, this resulted in Io Shirai hot tagging herself in, taking the spotlight away from Bianca, getting the moonsault on Shayna, pinning Shayna in that match. Coincidentally, the same taping that I was at Full Sail. Bianca did not look all that happy. I remember Kairi Sane playing with her braid, and she looked pissed. And then, obviously, as we watched the TV show over the weeks, she was pissed. She did not appreciate Io trying to steal the spotlight away. She did not appreciate Kairi and Io debating on who's going to get Bianca, or who's going to get Shayna, rather, when Bianca is there, and she was done dirty by Io and Kairi. Now, Bianca is going around saying that she's undefeated. This might be something that she just tends to say, but she's not really undefeated anymore. She hasn't been pinned, but she's not undefeated. So, Bianca, with the tap out here, is going into this match seeking some retribution. So that's where we left off with Bianca. Now, Shayna Baszler has been attacking everybody. She's been choking out everybody. She wants some respect. Now, Baszler has done it to Mia Yim. She's done it to the bougie queens there, whatever the fuck their names are. What's it? Aaliyah and whoever else. Vanessa Bourne. Everybody and anybody. Io got choked out. Kairi got choked out. They all got choked out. So Baszler is going into this a cold-blooded killer. And I think that they're doing this because this is the end for Shayna Baszler. The Fatal 4-Way in itself is the end for Shayna Baszler because she doesn't really need to be pinned to lose the championship. She could still look strong when they demote her to Raw or SmackDown, and she could lose the title without actually losing the title, quote unquote. Oh, you didn't pin Shayna Baszler to be the new NXT Women's Champion? Goodbye, Shayna Baszler. Goodbye, Shayna Baszler. So who do I think is going to win this thing? Being that the Fatal 4-Way is a clue that Shayna Baszler is done. The fact that Shayna Baszler's been there and there's really nothing else that she can do. She's a 2-time NXT Women's Champion. There really is nothing else for the woman to do. And I think she would fit perfectly into the women's division on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live. Or if they combine both divisions, it would be great. And I think Shayna would really thrive there. I do not think Kairi Sane is winning the title. I think she is the least of everybody's worries here. I do not think Kairi Sane is going to win the title. I am either going with Io or Bianca. And I'm going with Bianca over Io because I always like the fact of a heel winning the title and a babyface chasing. Because it just makes for a better story. If Io wins the title and then she loses it to Bianca, where's the money in that? There is no money in that. I would rather Bianca win the title, have Io chase into SummerSlam weekend, and then Kairi, if she's still there, we get the eventual Kairi versus Io match. That's what I would like to see. That's what I'm going with. I'm going with Bianca Belair as the new NXT Women's Champion, and I think Shayna Baszler gets called up. And I think Bianca and Io is the next in the natural progression of the NXT Women's Championship. That's just my honest opinion there. Finally, guys, Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole. 2 out of 3 falls match for the vacant NXT World Heavyweight Championship. Heavyweight? Do you know that Johnny Gargano is a vanilla midget? Do you know that he is 199 pounds? And he's going up against Adam Cole. And did you know that his girlfriend is a dentist? You know what? Just based off that information, I'm going with Adam Cole. She can work on my teeth any day of the week, man. Maybe we'll call him up to the main roster. Maybe we'll take him away from the Undisputed Era, and we'll break up Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, and we'll put Bobby Fish in the New Day, and we'll put Kyle O'Reilly with EC3 in catering, and Roderick Strong will put him on 205 Live. Oh, man, that's a good idea. I think we'll do that. Adam Cole is 210 pounds, man. Heavyweight title? My 2 front teeth weigh more than these 2 vanilla midgets, man. Yeah. Anyway. I don't know, man. I'm a fucking lunatic. Adam Cole and EC3. Jesus Christ. You see what you did to me, man? Unreal. Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano. Listen, man. I love both of these guys. And I think this is going to be the match that defines the entire weekend for WWE. I really do. I think people are going to be talking about this all year. This show, I'm looking at this show. Honestly, every one of these matches could be a match of the year contender. Every one of these matches could very well be on the top 10 of 2019 by the end of the year. Now, this all started when Johnny Gargano teamed up with Tommaso Ciampa forming DIY. They lost to Black and Ricochet, like I mentioned earlier, in the semifinals of the Dusty Classic. Ciampa was about to turn on Johnny, same way he did in Chicago 2 years prior. Johnny stopped him. Johnny threw Ciampa into the LED boards down at Full Sail University, super kicked his head off. Candice LeRae came out. They both laughed. Johnny proclaimed Johnny Wrestling is back, and that is what started that off. Then Triple H had to strip the title off of Ciampa because of whatever reason. I still claim that the main roster is the reason why that Ciampa and Gargano was not happening. And I think that if they rested him and he was in his own volition to go, that he would have given us the match with Johnny. It might have been the last match we've ever seen, but I'm not going to complain here or there. I'm just happy that he's on the road to recovery. And I think we'll eventually get Johnny and Ciampa again somewhere in WWE. This chapter is right now on hold. But we have Johnny and Adam Cole to look forward to. Triple H revealed that Gargano was supposed to face Ciampa at Takeover. This was a couple of weeks ago on NXT television. Those plans were canceled due to a real-life situation with Ciampa needing neck surgery. Vacated the title. Triple H stated that Gargano will still be in the match. I questioned what did Johnny really do for the championship match at Takeover if Ciampa is not there. So even Adam Cole mentioned that in the promo, in the face-to-face a couple of weeks ago. Or last week, rather, I believe it was. And they cited that. I said that. I love Johnny more than anybody. And I honestly think that, Johnny right now, without Ciampa, he's got no business to be in the NXT Championship. Yeah, you could web and tell the story however you want. It's, Johnny is his dream to be NXT champion. it's evaded him and eluded him all these months and years, and he wants to just make an exclamation point on everybody that told him he can't do it, or, don't come back for tryouts. They ridiculed him, blah, blah, blah. But realistically, at that point, in that time, when the Fatal 5-Way was about to happen, we all asked ourselves, what is Jonny doing in the main event when he really has no business to be there without Ciampa? He didn't really do anything. I mean, he lost the North American Championship to the Velveteen Dream. So, by the end of this thing, I don't really think we were complaining all that much, because Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano sold the shit out of this match with their promo. And with that, Adam Cole won the Fatal 5-Way. Velveteen Dream, Matt Riddle, Aleister Black, Ricochet. That was the number one contender right there for the NXT Championship. Triple H also announced that it will be a definitive winner, and that it will be a 2 out of 3 falls match. Now, my heart says Jonny, just because the payoff needs to happen. Like, how long is Jonny going to chase the NXT Championship without winning it? And it's been rumored that Johnny's spending another year in NXT. Like, Adam Cole, realistically, could get the title anytime he wants, but there's got to be a payoff. Jonny has to get paid at the end of the night. The payment is coming in form of the NXT Championship. I don't know. You could honestly go any way. You could honestly go any way here. You could go Jonny and have the feel-good story, but is it going to feel the same? You could go with Adam Cole. Adam Cole could finally be on top of the mountain, and his proclamation of Undisputed Era holding all the titles in NXT could be on its way to happening. Jonny could win, and they could call Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era up to WWE. Or Adam Cole could win the title because of the Undisputed Era's help. And I'm not talking about Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, or Kyle O'Reilly. I'm making a bold prediction here. Probably won't happen, but I'm making a bold prediction anyway, because it's my fucking show. I could do whatever I want. I could say whatever I want. My heart's going with Jonny. My heart's going with Jonny. I am going with Jonny. But if Adam Cole is to win the title, it won't be because of what he did on his own. If Adam Cole is to win the title here, I'm going with them adding a female member to Undisputed Era, and I'm going with them adding Candice LeRae as a female member of Undisputed Era. My pick is Jonny, but if Adam Cole is to win the title, I'm going with Candice to betray Jonny and join Adam Cole in Undisputed Era. That is your NXT TakeOver New York preview and predictions. If you guys enjoyed this video, man, please hit that thumbs up. I know it's not what you're used to seeing as far as off the script goes, but everything's changing this week, man. It's WrestleMania week. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled program next week. So you guys will get the preview and predictions on Thursday for TakeOver. This is today. And then Friday, you guys will get the WrestleMania preview and predictions for Off the Script. That'll be on part 2, and that's it for the weekend, man. I'm not even looking at anything that says Off the Script, because I got Saturday, House of Glory, Culture Clash. I'm going to be in and around the city getting trashed. And then Sunday, I'll recuperate and give you 13 fucking hours of WrestleMania. Deal? There you go. Virtual handshake. There you go. My right hand. There you go. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much. Please hit that thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell for all notifications if you guys want the best in Raw, SmackDown, NXT, All Elite Wrestling, and Off the Script right here on the podcast. Follow me on social media, JD from NY206, both on Twitter and Instagram. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Bonfire.com for your JD's Elite. Make sure you guys go and get yours. Link is down in the description. Harrys.com/script. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys go to the meet and greet. RSVP down below. 155 West 33rd Street, New York City, Madison Square Garden. April 5th, right before TakeOver. Hooters of Manhattan, man. I'll see you guys there. Make sure you guys go and check out this week's videos. Everything you need is linked in the little eye that you see in the top right corner. And make sure you sign up for the newsletter, jdfromny.com. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much for all your support. I'll see you right back here on Friday with Off the Script WrestleMania preview and predictions. It is so expansive that you're going to fucking go crazy by the end of the night, man. I'll see you guys later. It's a culmination of all news and rumors pertaining around WrestleMania. We'll talk about it all And I will see you guys right back here for all of that. Thank you so much. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys for the WrestleMania preview and predictions. I'll talk to you later.